Hello, family. My name is Moses B. Arthur. I'm super excited to be coming your way today with another insightful content on the ultimate guide to skill stacking, how to stand out in the online marketplace. The ultimate guide to skill stacking, how to stand out in the online marketplace. Somebody will begin to wonder what really is skill stacking. Skill stacking, the Ashantis will go like, and also, skill stacking is basically the art of combining various or different skills to create a unique market niche in the online market space. So basically, a combination of different skills to create a unique niche in the online marketplace. Now, in today's digital age, where a lot of things are choked in the online market space, you definitely need to stand out. And for me, this particular topic means so much to me, especially if you're a young person listening to me from the continent of Africa. If you're a young person listening to me from the continent of Africa, then this one is even something that you should take more seriously. Why do I say so? The US recently are predicting that in just about some 2 to 3 months, there's going to be about 700,000 layoffs in the United States economy. We've already seen Meta laying people off. We've already seen the tech companies laying people off. The current unemployment rate in Ghana is outrageous. For those of us living in Ghana and Nigeria, we do not necessarily need a recession to understand what a recession looks like. I think that we are already living in a recession. We are literally battling hand to mouth and all of that. So if you're in the African continent with diverse population, then this particular content is something that you want to take serious, because this by far could be one of your biggest bets to save yourself out of the poverty and out of the hustle and bustle of living on the continent. So in this place, looking at our population and everything, which means that there's crazy competition for things like job employment and stuff like that. In Ghana, it's even worse, because the last time during the World Cup, when our national team was playing against Portugal, we read the national budget of our country, and I doubt a lot of young people have actually taken time off to read the budget and everything for this year 2023. And one of the profound things I saw in there was the fact that there was a freeze on employment in the public sector. And for me, this becomes something that's quite scary. A freeze, then what will happen to those in the teacher training and the nursing space and all of that? It really becomes a matter of concern. And that's how come skill stacking, the ultimate guide to it, and how to stand out in the online marketplace is so important. Now, the first thing you need to understand when it comes to skill stacking, guys, the very first thing you need to understand is to identify or to understand your own talents and abilities. Your own talents and abilities. How do you understand? How do you even get to know your talents and your abilities? The first take on that is to take a deeper assessment of your strengths. The first take on that is to take a deeper assessment on what you are good at. If you were given 5 minutes and you were told to do what you are best at in 5 minutes, what would they yield for you? These are things that should be able to come very easily with you. So are you a great writer? Are you a great graphic designer? Are you a great social media manager? These are things that you can literally combine to stand out in the online market space. So what really is your skill? Do a proper self-assessment after watching this video. I want you to do a proper self-assessment. For somebody like me, speaking comes easily with me. For someone like me, writing comes easily with me. Being in a certain frame and state of mind to think on ideas comes easily with me. It's a very good strength of mine. You understand? So how do you also know if speaking is your thing? How do you also know if writing is your thing? You then now need to do an introspection, a self-reflection of yourself, to be able to know if this is your strength or that is your strength. For somebody, I have a friend of mine, she enters a space, and the moment she enters an empty space, the entire space is filled up. And for her, she automatically is able to tell, okay, there shouldn't have been a window here, there should have been a window there. And Those are strengths. So you want to do a proper assessment. If you want to understand the ultimate guide to skill stacking, the very first thing you need to do is to understand the things that come to you easily. Those things are called your strengths. So if you're a writer and you've mastered a little bit of, or if you're an entrepreneur and you have the skill of writing and you have mastered a little bit of search engine optimization. Now, a combination of the skill of writing and a combination of the skill of search engine optimization can put you in a better place where you write content and it is easily searchable and it generates better results than the guy who is just a writer who does not understand the place of search engine optimization. And so it's super, super, super important. The very first thing you need to do after you've understood that skill stacking is a proper combination of skills or of your strengths, then the next thing you need to do is to identify them. So identify these things, write them down, and then when you write these things down, you know that, okay, this is what I'm good at. Now, what else can you add to your strength to make it bankable? What else can you add to your strength to make it something that's sellable? So once you have identified these unique skills, it's important to then focus on mastering them. Master these skills. So for me, one of the things I do is every time I'm reading a book, I write. Whenever I need to, there's something that my mentor once taught me. He said that one of the best ways to know yourself is to write. Guys, this is a life hack. One of the best ways to know yourself is to write. You understand? How? Most of the times when you're going through an experience, somebody has served you breakfast. For those of you that don't get breakfast, I don't mean like proper breakfast, but then somebody has given you some broken heart. You are going through a certain rough time, a certain rough experience, and you do not necessarily understand what's going on with you. At that point in time, whatever thing you feel, the best way to appreciate yourself is to write it down. I've gone through very worst moments in life, like building myself up, entrepreneurship, and all of those things. And sometimes the experiences that I feel, I write them down. I write these experiences down, guys. And sometimes when I'm out of that mode, or I've been able to overcome whatever thing it is, and then I sit down and like later go back to the things I write, it becomes a wonder to me. There's a folder on my phone called Dear MBA. Dear MBA, that folder carries my most vulnerable self. And whenever I go back to it, I'm like, whoa, what was going on with me at this point in time when I wrote that? So it's super, super, super important. Identify your skill and most importantly, master them. Master them. In my second book, Understanding Systems Thinking, I speak about how that one of the signs of a succeeding system is personal mastery. If you show up in any place, one of the things that will bring proper value to the place or the system that you have found yourself in is what you have mastered personally. What have you mastered personally? Your skills that you are good at, your strengths that you are good at, have you mastered them? And so it's super, super important. Then now, when you have been able to identify these skills, these skills, and you have mastered them, now you then have to include a little bit of sales and marketing, presentation skills, offer creation, and closing techniques in order for you to make it bankable. In subsequent videos, I'm going to talk about how presentation skills, how offer creation, how sales and marketing, and how closing techniques, there's a difference between sales and there's a difference between closing. You understand? Closing is the final stage of the sales process. Closing is the final stage of the sales process. So you start the sales process, but till somebody has dropped $1, till somebody has dropped $1, till somebody has dropped a CD, you have not closed the deal yet. So when we say a deal has been closed, it means that money has been transacted for the value that the person is going to get. And so if you find this content insightful, I want you to subscribe to this channel, like, comment, share with your friends, and I'm going to bring you another episode on the various things that we can do. How do you combine these skills, the various skills that we can stack in order to make some good amount of money online? And if you are looking at my outfit and you like the outfit so much, it reads, "It shall never be well with poverty." This is a merch that was released by myself last year. It has my middle name, Brentu, in there. Brentu means a warrior. Brentu means a fighter. There's a war, there's a fight. We are fighting against poverty, especially if you come from the African continent. There's a fight that we are waging. So brain 2 at the end of the day is a fight. And so if you're looking at me, I believe that you are that brain 2, that warrior of your family that has been chosen and sent by God. The mere fact that you are looking at this video means that you want to definitely make some good amount of money. And so if you love what I'm wearing, it's actually a symbol and an emblem of hope that, you know, someday we will break away from the shackles of poverty. Now, finally, it's so important for you to understand that skill stacking is a process. Skill stacking is a process. It's not a one-time thing. And you see, as the online marketplace evolves, it's important to continue experimenting with these skills. It's important to continue to experiment with other skills that will evolve with the marketplace, you know, to bring you some good amount of money. And so I'm excited that you watched it. I hope that this content blessed you and has already set you on a pace of doing some self-assessment when it comes to your strengths and when it comes to your weakness, and most importantly, how do you make it bankable on the online or in the online marketplace. My name is Moses Biatha. Love and light. Cheers, guys.